Your excuses are bullshit. That's right. All those excuses you got, they're just fear. They are just fear. When you learn the lesson, when you turn toward the friction in your life and you look for either the process or the people or the place that you're living or the place that you work, all of the things, the thinking patterns that you have, the behavior patterns, when you start to identify everybody, all of the areas of friction in your life, and you go to work to learn the lesson, here's what I want you to know. You are capable of changing it. You are 100% capable of learning the lesson and making anything in your life better. I know that is true about you. And that means that the only thing that is keeping you from identifying the things that aren't working and doing the work to move your life into alignment with who you're meant to be and the things that truly make you come alive, the only thing that's preventing you from doing that is you and your fears. Whether you're like any excuse that you have is just fear. You're afraid to try, you're afraid to fail, you're afraid you're too late, you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that. Now's not the right time. I don't have this, I don't have that. This person would be upset with me. All of it is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of it not working out, fear of being disappointed, fear of disappointing others. That's what an excuse is. You're just managing fear. And it's all baloney. And I say that because I do the same thing. I want to take you back just over a year ago. This was shocking when I started to prepare for this conversation with you, because when I went back through my camera roll and I looked at my calendar, I realized that it was just over a year ago that I published my last book, The High Five Habit. I spent 20% of that book sharing about this big dream that I had about launching a podcast. So over a year ago today, I did not have a podcast. I was still making excuses about a podcast. I was scared about launching a podcast. In fact, I wrote about it in this book. Just over a year ago, as I was promoting this book, I was making videos begging some of the biggest podcast hosts in the world to have me on their podcast to talk about my book, The High Five Habit. So I made videos literally for the biggest, the people that I admire. These custom videos. I put myself out there. I was all afraid, about doing it. I sent these videos off to people that I love. I sent them off. Crickets. Nobody even responded. And I took that to mean I will never make it in the podcast business. Because the people I admire the most in that, they don't even want to talk to me. They don't even respond. I mean, that's how big my excuses were. And I'm going to read to you a little bit about what I wrote. And this is just over a year old, you guys. So I want to put this in perspective as you're listening to me. As you listen to me right now, we are one of the top podcasts in the entire world because of you. We are the number one education podcast in the world on every platform because of you. A year ago, I was questioning whether or not I should even start this at all. And I'm going to read to you what I believed and felt in my heart. And I'm going to do this because there is something that you want to do. I had been thinking about launching a podcast for years. I had come up with so many excuses, so many reasons not to do it. There is something that is on your heart, that is on your mind. Some change that you want to make, some art that you want to pursue, something that you want to do with your life. You know it. You feel it. You think about it. That was me with this podcast. And a year ago, I was busy talking myself out of it. I was busy looking for all kinds of reasons and excuses for why it was too late, everybody. I missed the window. I should have done it years ago. See, don't even bother. When I think about the excuses that I had, they're the same excuses you had. And see, you're seeing me now. You're seeing the success. So you're sitting there going, well, it's easy for Mel Robbins. She already had an audiobook. Are you kidding me? I had the same excuse. I almost didn't do this. What a shame that would have been. And there's something that you're busy convincing yourself not to do. And that's why lesson number 2 is that excuse is bullshit. It's just fear. I had the same thing. Let me read to you from the High Five Habit, because this is what I put out in the world just over a year ago. You're seeing now what happens when you push through that stupid excuse. But I want you to understand, I get this. It's on page 111. Oh yeah, I love this. Here's the title. I'm not giving this advice to you. I'm giving it to myself. So this is a chapter about jealousy, and it's about excuses and how I used to let self-doubt and jealousy eat me up inside. But here's the thing about jealousy. It's just blocked desire. It's a normal emotion. And the truth is, there's not a day that goes by when I don't feel a pang of jealousy. It happens every time I scroll through social media. And here's an example that I write about in this book. Because remember, when I published the High Five Habit just over a year ago, I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have a plan for launching a podcast. I was just writing about how jealousy was stopping me from pursuing it. It was eating me alive. So let me tell you about that jealousy I was feeling just a year ago. Right now, my career, when I look ahead of me, the people I'm most jealous of are the ones who have already started podcasts. For example, my friend Lewis Howes. He's been hosting the School of Greatness podcast for 7 years. I'm extremely jealous of my friend Lewis. In fact, I got a bunch of friends who have hit podcasts, and I'm jealous of all of them. Too many friends to list. I never really thought about it before, but I'm surrounded by people who are podcast hosts. I'm jealous of them. And then, tell me if you do this too, I beat myself up for not having done it yet. I beat myself up and I come up with excuses all the time. Creating a podcast would be as natural and as fluid for me as drinking a glass of water. Why? Because I do audiobooks. I speak on stages. I don't like to write books because of my dyslexia and my ADHD. But why haven't I done it? If I want to do a podcast so much, why haven't I done it? And now I'm going to ask you the question. If you want to do this thing, whatever it is, travel the world, get healthy, write a book, change your career, go back to school, save your marriage, work on your... If you want to do this, why haven't you done it? I'll tell you why you haven't done it. The same reason why I haven't done it. Because you tell yourself you've missed the window. You tell yourself that it's never going to be you. You want this thing so badly. Just admit it. I wanted so badly to be a podcast host. I did. But you know what I spent my energy doing? Listening to my fears, coming up with excuses. I'm too late. Somebody else already did it. I can't do it now. I'll just be a copycat. Nobody needs to hear my voice. There's already there's 5 million podcasts on Spotify. 5 million. I missed the window, everybody. And see, the truth is, when you start to write it out, all your excuses, you'll realize something I realized, which is it doesn't make any sense because there's nothing stopping you from doing it except for these stupid excuses. Nothing at all. Who cares that there's all these people that have already done? Who cares that your friend already renovated their kitchen and they have white cabinets and you wanted white cabinets and now you can't have white cabinets because then you're going to be a copy? Are you kidding me with these excuses? You can't go back to the gym because you haven't been in one in 3 months? Seriously? Do you know how dumb that is? You can't figure out how to be financially free? Do you know how many people who are stupider than you have figured that out? Of course you can figure that out. Your excuses are baloney. They're BS. It's just your fear. Just like my fear about being too late, not being good enough. You want to know the real deepest fear? The deepest fear is that I would finally pursue this thing that I'd always wanted to do. Because I've been thinking about this for a long time. You may not know this about me, but I got my start in local radio. I used to host a little call-in show Saturday mornings in Boston. I got paid $25 an hour to do. I loved that show. I fell in love with radio doing that show. I took on that job to help pay for groceries. It was a lifeline during a really hard time in my life. I loved it. And ever since then, 2007, I've wanted to get back to radio. And as the podcast market exploded, I wanted to get into podcasting. And you know what I did? I spent years coming up with excuses. Excuses for why I was too late. Excuses for why. And you're doing the same thing. Do you know how many times, everybody, I would say, it's too late. Mel, you missed the window. Everybody and their mother has a podcast. There's no way you're going to be successful. There's too many realtors, everybody. There's already enough nurses. How many of you have said that? Of course you have. There's enough books. Nobody's going to read my baloney. It's too late. I'm too old. Oh, I'm too young. I'm too young. I was talking with our son, Oakley. He loves streaming. Loves it. Loves playing video games and talking to the people that are watching him playing video games. Loves giving advice as loves doing it. And then we moved to a new school and he was really afraid because when the kids said, what are you into? He's like, well, I love to stream. And they're like, what? Boom. Stop doing it. Was afraid of what people thought. Again, excuses. If I continue doing this, I won't have friends. That's bull cocky, whatever the heck the word is. You know, is that even a word? I don't even know. Who knows? But he hasn't done it for 2 years. And all of a sudden, because he has felt the pull, the last 2 nights, and you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that he was on an episode of this podcast and there was so much positive feedback about what he shared that something clicked. And he realized his excuses are baloney, just like yours. And for the last 2 nights, you know what he's been doing after he gets his homework done? Streaming, giving kids advice. Is anyone watching right now? Nope, not a soul. But he's going to keep going. It's going to take time. And he kind of matter of fact last night, came down for a glass of water in the kitchen. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm streaming. I'm like, well, right now? He said, yeah. He's like, nobody's watching right now. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, well, Mom, it takes time. You got to show up consistently. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop this time because I was on a roll last time and I let my excuses and my fear stop me. I haven't done it in 2 years. I've missed this so much and I'm not going to let it stop me again. I love that kid and I love you. And that's why I'm telling you, your excuses, complete bullshit. You're not too late. You're not too early. Today is the right day. And you're not starting over. You're starting with all of the experiences of your life. You're doing this at the exact right time. This is perfect. You're listening to me today because you are meant to not only learn the lesson and start addressing the friction, but to one by one, knock those excuses out of the way. And you know how they do that? Action is the answer. Action is the answer. You can figure anything out. Absolutely anything. You can reverse engineer it. You can stalk people. You can figure out what they did. And one step at a time, one day at a time, you can start to align your life with the things that you truly want to do, things you enjoy doing, with people that you really like. And you can push through your excuses one by one with the actions that you take. That's how I did it. I finally got so sick of feeling miserable, so sick of the friction inside me, so sick of denying myself the frickin' dreams that I have had held in my heart locked away. I was so sick and tired of myself that I'm like, that's it. I'm doing it. I don't care if nobody invites me on their podcast. I don't care if this thing fails. I'm not doing this for other people. I'm doing this for myself. And that's what you need to do. You're not doing this for the success. You're not doing this for the money. You're not doing this to impress somebody else. The changes that you need to make, the alignment that you need to bring your life into, you're doing this for you because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to see your dreams come true. You know how happy Oakley is? Sitting alone in his closet upstairs, streaming on Twitch while nobody is watching him. You know how happy he is? He is so happy because he has stopped feeling that tension and friction of knowing deep in your soul that you are denying yourself an experience that you want. And he is so happy that he has pushed through his own excuses and fears and that he has aligned his actions every night with something he's wanted to do. He has kept a promise to himself. That is the coolest thing in the world. That's what this is about. Like, who cares if nobody listens to this? Who cares if it fails in the eyes of the charts or whatever? Because that's not why you're doing it in the first place. You're doing it because you want to move yourself from a life that feels hard and friction and full of like resistance that you're putting in your own way. And you want to align your actions with the person you want to become. That's what this is about, everybody. And it took the hardest year of my life to get the easiest damn obvious lesson that there is. Mel, stop making your life hard. Stop putting energy into the crap that's not working. Stop making all this so personal. Everybody screws up. Everybody gets in toxic situations. This is not unique to you. Everybody has people steal crap from them or betray them. This is not you. You're not the only one. Stop tolerating this crap from yourself and just look in the mirror and figure out what you're going to address and get on with it, woman. Like, enough. And I don't recommend that you have the hardest year of your life to learn these lessons. That's why I'm sharing them with you. I don't recommend that you get so broken down by your own bullshit that you have a mental health breakdown. I don't recommend that. I want you to figure out what's not working in your life, what aspects you hate, what brings you friction, make the list, then get rid of your excuses by fixing this stuff. Absolutely everything in your life can be improved by you, period. And the only thing that's stopping you from doing it is your fear. And that fear is going to disappear the second you start taking action. One of the reasons why it's so important for you to get this on paper is because when you get this friction out of your head and out of your body and you give yourself the gift of putting it on paper, and I invite you to do this with somebody, get a friend and together get a piece of paper out. This is what I did with my friend Pete. He's literally like, we need to remove the friction from your life because you're tolerating too much friction, Mel. Get with a friend because the friend will be a truth teller. And you will be a truth teller for that friend of yours. And draw a line down the center of the page and write shit I hate on the left and write things I love on the right. And for me, the left-hand column was way longer than the right-hand column. And what I'm here to tell you is you don't have to tolerate that much distress, that much friction in your life. You and I, we're just used to friction. That's why we tolerate it. You and I are used to the toxic dynamic in our family. We're used to not going to the gym. We're used to feeling tired. We're used to feeling last on our list. That doesn't mean it has to stay that way. I am telling you, you have within you, if you can write that stuff down, you can figure out how to move yourself, inch yourself from the left-hand column, the shitty column, over to the right-hand column, toward liking and loving aspects of your life. I am in your life because I want you and I to enjoy our lives. It doesn't mean it's always a party, but when you can identify areas of friction, things just feel off. They feel harder than they need to be. It's a struggle. That means there is a person, a process, a place, there is a pattern, there is something there that you got to go to work on. That's it. Getting rid of friction is your job. Identifying it is the first step. Removing the excuses that keep you from taking the actions to smooth it out or remove it or improve it, there's your options. That's it. Remove it, improve it, do something different. That's it. Even just writing it down will make you feel better. And when you sit down with a friend and do this, they're going to call you out. They're going to call you out about the things that you complain on. Don't forget to put your marriage on there. Don't forget to put the fact that your back hurts on there. You know, you're always griping about blah, 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 blah. That's going to help you. And that's what I did with Pete. I got my little book right here. Got my list. Boy, when I read my list, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot I was tolerating. And I have gone step by step, one by one. And I have addressed it See, here's the thing. You may not be responsible for creating the friction, but you have a responsibility to remove it. And you deserve that. That does not mean your life is going to be perfect. That means you are going to feel empowered. And this is not one of these one and done exercises, because I now hunt for friction. If something feels off, like just yesterday, we were doing an episode for the podcast, and I was sitting in a director's chair behind a table, and I felt friction in my body. And I'm like, this feels hard. This feels weird. And then I noticed more friction. I don't want to ask the team to break the set down because we just put it up. And then I started to notice the excuses. I don't want people to be upset. I don't want to be a freak. I don't want to constantly change my mind. And then I'm like, you know what? I am committed to living in alignment. I'm committed to making things easier. I'm just done with this. And so I'm just going to say what's not working, and then we're going to address it, and then it'll be over, and life is easier. It's so much easier. Oh my God, you guys. Today's topic is the 3 lessons that I have learned from one of the hardest years of my life.